shake it. Don't wanna fake it. I try to wicked it. While I make it. I wanna this, I know. And when I'm ready, go. I sing la la la. Shake it, wicked, make it. And when I speak a blessed art I make it. Now I turn the chica. Doesn't make me weaker. Don't need to make a show. Not when you know. Let's go la la la. Shake it, wicked, make it.
All let the righteous bend the knee. To love is the language of belief. And all of the people in the world receive all they need to live in love. Hey, all let the righteous bend the knee. To peace is the language of belief. And all of the people in the world receive all they need to live in love. Live in love. Hey.
Check. Can everyone hear me now? All right, got it. Okay. Sorry about that. Little technical difficulties. They happen every now and then. As I try to update and do cool things, it's gonna be little few things that are gonna happen. But there'll be sound now, I'm sure. We got it going. Must have been when the microphones were not checked. So all good. Let's get right to it, okay? So let's start with Ethereum. So some Ethereum news came out today that a $250 million multi-coin fund is now being started up. Now, the fund is actually called Multicoin, and it's a capital management company. So basically, they are a firm that invests money. Makes pretty good sense. Now, what they're trying to invest in is the next generation of coins. So the ones that are coming up, ICO style, that have top-notch level ratings, and obviously something that is very good use case, something that we can use, you know what I mean? So stuff that's awesome. So yeah, that's really good stuff. Now, it has a really cool cast of people that are investing in it. So I'm gonna name one person, and if you don't know him, you're gonna know all the companies that he's helped bring to the forefront of our lives, more than likely, okay? So his name is Mark Anderson. He is one of a star investors, and anyone really that could be a star investor, because he is known for, and I'll just start kind of going through all the things that he is known for. Number one, he's known for BuzzFeed. Number two, he's known for Airbnb. Number three, Facebook Inc. Number four, Groupon. Number five, Skype. Number six, Lyft. Number seven, Pinterest. Number eight, Slack. I'm sure some of you, or all of you, have used some of these in your lifetime. So yeah, that's a really cool fund. So what their aim is to actually invest in good coins, and they're a capital management company, so they're trying to build capital. So they're investing in good coins. Now, the reason why I think Ethereum is going to be their main one is because Ethereum is the main coin for all ICOs at this point. So we do feel, myself and people that I work with, we all feel that Ethereum will probably be the main one, because they're trying to find the next coin, the next big project, right? And what are most of the ICOs, if not all of them, at least 90% at this point right now, until we have EOS and NEO and all these other guys have more ICOs, they're all done on ERC20 tokens, right? And usually they switch them over later. But the fact that they do them already originally on Ethereum tokens, it's really good stuff. So yeah, another thing about Ethereum that came out is that many think that they're going to put money into ETH due to it hosting so many new ICOs, coins, tokens on its platform. Okay, so the whole idea of this is for this company to make money, and we probably are going to see that Ethereum is undervalued at this point. Probably it was almost 1,500, it's like 700 now, so it has a lot of growth to come back, and it is the main ICO coin, so it should be lifting things up the way Bitcoin did when it was just forking coins as well. The water break. Okay, another thing about Ethereum. Now, this is an ICO that my pool is involved in. It's called Consensus, and this is a really big one. Consensus is a blockchain application startup, and True Digital, a global exchange subsidiary, have declared that they plan to create a target reference index for Ethereum. So what does that mean? It means that the plan could be part of an effort to make Ethereum trading more accessible for you guys. So the more accessible it is, the better, right? Because more people are going to use Ethereum to do things like trade. We have more people trading with Ethereum, we're going to start seeing more money go into Ethereum as well. So that's pretty sweet. So Sunil Hirani, the founder of True Digital, said institutional investors and commercial partners are ready for a regulated and liquid marketplace to gain exposure and to hedge these increasingly important digital currencies and commodities. So what they're trying to do with the ETH platform, with Consensus and True Digital working together, is actually make it easier to trade, simplify it. And not only that, it's going to make it easier for institutions like, for example, a bank or hospitals or hotel chains or financial institutions to basically invest easily and in different projects. So really cool, a really cool way of doing things, I would have to say. Okay, so that's all I have to say about Ethereum. Anyone have questions about what's going on with ETH, or shall we continue on? So I'll just give a second here. Any questions about anything about Consensus or Ethereum? Anyone? No? Okay, no big deal. It's all good. So I'll just continue on. Remember that what I'm going to do is stop between each thing that I'm talking about. And while I'm talking about it, please do, if you have questions, type those bad boys in and I will happily get to you. So just remember that. I'm also going to apologize right now because we accidentally put the wrong time on our schedule today. And so some of you came earlier. I thank you if you came again. And if you missed it, that's okay as well. This won't be an issue again. It's mostly because of it's mostly happened because we were trying to do new stuff like the music, so adding in a new feature, and it threw off my microphone, and then we had to reschedule everything. So that's okay. We keep moving on, and it's awesome. So don't worry about it. Now, I've had in the last week about 4 people ask me, what is OCN? What do you think about OCN? So I did my research, and I got 2 other people to do research, and I came together and brought all the research together to give you guys a real good, clear opinion about what I think about OCN. Okay? So basically, I'm going to give a couple different viewpoints that I've written down so that you guys can have a couple viewpoints about what you think about your project on your own. You always should do your own research, so just my research and my team research is never enough. You should always do your own. Remember, we're not financial advisors. We're not telling you what to buy. We're here to help you choose, a good project based off of research, not any other reasons. Okay, so OCN is a relatively new coin. It came on Binance in February, so it's a very, very new coin. It's basically labeled itself. It's basically calling itself the decentralized economy and peer-to-peer ecosystem. So it's like an ecosystem to do many different things. So it has low operational costs and open source code so that it can be improved really easily, which is probably a positive thing for sure. It allows for folks to exchange, trade anything from data to an umbrella for a very small payment. Okay. It also has credit scores for each user, so that if you don't want to sell your stuff to someone who's not really going to pay you back, well, you don't have to sell stuff to them. So just like you have a credit score now, OCN will have a feature for each user. So if you're good and you have good credit and you always do what you say you're going to do, no problem. Some people call it digital communism, and it's similar to Tron. And the reason why that is because of Justin Sun being an advisor on the board. I'm sure that has where we could see some similarities there. The creator of it is Mr. Yishi. Okay, and according to their website, according to what they said, they're gonna have a working product by the end of this year. So right now, it's one of those projects that I always tell you guys, I don't really like projects and ICOs that don't have a working, doesn't have anything working yet. I like 88 just because of the team, but I still would rather 88 and EOS actually have a better working product already. So those teams are why I've invested in them, honestly. So continuing on, Mr. Yishi is the founder of a tech company called .c. It's a .c United Group, and he owns a mobile advertising platform called Abazu. He founded and sold mobile game industry called Tbic, and he's been on Forbes 30 Under 30 from 2014 to 2017, and in 2016, Fortune 40 Under 40. So he's very successful. So they have a good leader, I would have to say. A very strong leader is making, is helping them move forward. So that's a really good thing. Now, some of the things that I like and also don't like, maybe some of you guys will like and also won't like, is Justin Sun is the head advisor for the project. And so we all know he's the creator of Tron, and he's kind of a little bit of a nutty guy. But OCN has projects in partnerships with Tron and AWS. So, they have some stuff going for them, but it's kind of like insider, because it's, yes, Tron is your partner, but Justin Sun's your advisor, so that would make sense. Too much sense, actually. But where's your other partners is the question you should be asking, right? There's 10 billion coin supply, so it's a huge supply of coins. And the good thing is, for their ICO, it's sold out in 24 hours. So that's pretty fast for an ICO. It's not as fast as the AI's stuff did in like 30 seconds, 10 minutes. So that's probably a good plus, but that doesn't mean always that it's going to be a good project. OCN has a lot of promise. Very, very much so in Asia, where bike sharing programs are common, as well as Australia. Here's the problem though, a lot of these bike sharing programs are not going to make you break the bank. So I don't know how it's going to benefit a lot of people that way, okay? So OCN is right up their alley, but they share everything for a small cost, and I don't really understand if they're going to be able to make money and if they're actually going to be a good project on the long run. Now I'll give you a couple more things that I've found on their website. So their team has no pictures on their site. That's a huge, even my own ICO pool that I'm working with, we have our pictures and our LinkedIn and our Twitter on our Facebook, on our website. Why do they not have that on their website? Why would they be hiding that from anyone? It doesn't make any sense. So that's one big knock against them. The roadmap is there, but it's not really a clear, a very, very clear roadmap, for example. So that's another thing that I didn't like. When a company doesn't have a clear roadmap, it makes me kind of nervous, because OCN might be a good project, but where are they going? That's what I always want to know. Like, what are you going towards? And if I can't find something like that easily, that's not good. And their roadmap's only on Twitter, for God's sakes. That's not a good thing. Their phase one is a wallet, and then a credit-based universal system for sharing economy ecosystem, rewarding mechanism for sharing economy participants, Obike to be the first sharing economy platform. Here's the thing: Obike is already a company established, and it's there, but it's not a money breaker. It's not gonna make $1 billion a year. So I just don't see how they're gonna make enough money unless they develop the other projects. So they have 3-phase roadmap, but the roadmap is not very I don't know, it could do well, but it's really done cheaply. Let's put it that way. It's done in a very cheapy way, and I don't like that at all. So that's another knock against them. Now when you look on Twitter and YouTube, there are pictures and videos, but the thing is, it's only one. There's like literally just one. It's Obike. the bike sharing company. We don't see any other projects or partners that they talk about other than Tron, and Tron was kind of a conflict of interest because Justin's son's on the board. And then next, one YouTube video interview, which they shared over and over again, the same exact interview, and they only see, I only see that they have the same bounty giveaway shared many times. So could it be a good project? Sure. At the top, it was like almost 20 cents at the top, and now it's 1 cent. So is it a good project? It could be. It has potential, but is it a good project to invest in now? I wouldn't. That's my personal opinion. I just don't see how a company with mostly just bike sharing will actually help. So Tim Pace thinks that I think OCN will be similar to TRX with minimal gains and losses. Probably, yeah. It probably will be similar to Tron, but not as good, honestly. I don't think that this project will be as strong as Tron at all. I think OCN will be okay, and it could be successful. It does have good leaders and advisors, but I just don't see it right now. I don't see anything that's like mind-blowing, like, wow, I'm gonna want to throw my money at that. You know, it's not Litecoin or ADA. It's not that crazy good. Sure, I can put the volume up, no problem at all. All right. How about, is that better? It should be better now. So yeah, if you can't hear me, just let me know. Thanks for your input, Nico. So yeah, any questions about OCN other than, you know, is it minimal compared to TRX? I'm really curious to know what you guys think about OCN. Do you like it? Do you not like it? And why do you like it or not like it? That's a good question, right? So yeah, let me know what you're thinking. The next thing I'm going to talk about is bull and bear markets, but I want to see if there's any other questions about OCN because I would like to answer them. I did a pretty good, a fair amount of research, and I want to know, what do you guys think about it? Do you like it? Why do you like it? And if you don't like it, why don't you like it? Do you agree with what I'm saying? Do you not? So yeah, basically, we're going to continue on, and yeah, let's keep going. So I told you guys yesterday I'm going to talk about what is a bull market and a bear market. Well, as you can see right here, a bull market's when the market's going up, and a bear market's when the market's going down. And so what I want you to understand is there are bull markets and there are bear markets. Right now we're in a bullish bearish market. It sounds kind of weird, right? But we're moving up, but we're also moving down. We're not actually, we're kind of consolidating. We're going like up and down and up and down. We're staying in this weird channel, right? So that's the thing. When we're going up and down, you know, what we see is consolidation. Is just like, you're not, Bitcoin and other coins right now, like Litecoin, for example, has been going like this, all between $175 and $185, right? So that's what consolidation looks like. Now we're in a bull market, we start seeing a lot of these upward movements, and we're in a bear market, we do what Bitcoin's been doing and it's going down, right? In bearish movements. Now, I want to show you another photo. So if you can't see this picture, I'm sorry. Let me see. I just want to see if you guys can see it enough. This is it can be hard to see sometimes. I can understand that. So here in this picture, what you can see is the blue are bull markets, okay? So these are the bull and bear markets from the last, basically since 1926, as you can see on the picture. Now, in a bull market, as you can see, they last a very long time with a lot of parabolic movement. As you can see in that photo right here, right here, you can see that the blue goes kind of like in a straight up line. And then when it gets to that kind of top, it goes really down. You see that, right? Does that remind you guys of anything? Is that something that was like, oh, wow, look at that. That's pretty cool. I think it's pretty cool. And the reason I think it's pretty cool is because we just went through that. And I would say we're in a dip like one of the ones in the middle of this picture over here, somewhere in the middle. Now, generally, if you could read the years, on average, a bull market lasts for 10, 12 years. And a bear market lasts for about 2 years on average. Now, what you need to realize as well is this, that when we have a bull or a bear market, okay, when we have a bull or a bear market, in a regular stock market, which is what I'm showing you here, what you'll see is that in the bull market, we end up basically going upwards and upwards and upwards until we have this bear market. Now, usually a bull market will last 8 years. In cryptocurrency, you have to divide that by 5. Really, we are 24 hours, 7 days a week. The regular stock market's 40 hours a week. So Bitcoin moves slower because there's more time. Okay, it moves 60 times slower than the regular stock market. Even though it moves fast in terms of price action, it's actually slower. So you have to slow yourself down, right? But here's the thing, those orange things that you see right here are bear markets. And they generally, the longest one in this picture is literally after the stock market crash of 1929. So you see that really long one under here, sorry, right about there, under there, that yellow, that orangey line, that was a 8-year bear market, okay? Now in cryptocurrency, it'll last for 3 months, 4 months, okay? So that's pretty much how it's gonna work, okay? So yeah, basically what we're gonna do is we're gonna see a little bit of this action over and over again over the next, however long cryptocurrency is here for. Could be here forever. So we might see this all the time, but it's an everyday, all the time market. So knowing that, you just have to realize, like, okay, cool. All right, continuing on, let's go past the bull and bear markets. Anyone have a question about this? I'm curious to know, is anyone want to know anything about bull and bear markets? But generally, it just usually means that that's it. Yes, Tim Pace, that was a huge crash, but look right after it. Look right after it. How big of a gain did it go? It went up huge. On average, the crashes go between 200 and 300%, and the gains, when they go back up, go up between 3 and 8 to 900%, even 1,000% gains before the next bear market. So what we're gonna see is we went up 1,000% in some of these coins last year, and some of them are gonna go down, and some of them are gonna go up. So that's why I tell you guys to make sure you do good research into the good projects out there. And I want you guys, if you have any questions, do please ask, because I'm here for you. If you don't understand what this means, pretty much it comes down to price action. And 2008, you can see actually, it's the last one right here at the very end, right over there, the orange line. And so you see, even 2008 wasn't that bad, because look at the market right now, and it's still in a bull market until we get into the bears. Okay, so yeah, all right, so okay, now after Odyssey, let's go on to another one. Let's talk about exchanges. So cryptocurrency exchanges. Here's the thing. What you can see here is this. In crypto, we have exchanges like Binance, okay? We have exchanges like Coinbase. These are great cryptocurrency exchanges, but they're making multi-millions and billions of dollars. How are they doing that? Well, with fees. Of course, that's one way that they could be making money, but how else are they making money? I want to ask you guys and see if you can guess, how else do cryptocurrency markets make money? So they make it from fees. How else do they make money? I want to know if anyone has the answer to this question that I'm asking right now, because they can make money in many ways. They can make money through advertisements. They can make money through, they can make money. Almost gave you away the answer. Ooh, I want to see if anyone can guess. Anyone can guess this question is, how do the markets, how do the coins make, or how do the exchanges make money from coins? What do they do? So yes, they make them from fees, but how do they make it directly from the coins? What do they need to do? If no one knows, it's okay, but I'm going to give you guys a couple seconds to think a little bit more about it, because we do have a short delay between when I'm talking. So I want to know if anyone really deeply has anything to add to that. Yes, Kenton. Exactly. So Kenton said the chart that we just looked at over here, go back. this chart gives him massive hope, because we saw what we see what we see in the history. We do we look at the chronological analysis here, right? This is chronological. We're looking back to see where we're going, right? We've seen this as a trend. You can clearly see it's a trend. What I'm going to tell you is, yes, Kenton, you're right. We are going to start seeing a massive incline. Now remember, that incline, the last one you're looking at right here, this blue, was from 2008 till today. So it's a long time, that's 10 years. But you can see that it slowly starts to grow. You think, and remember, crypto will grow faster, 5 times faster.
It doesn't make me weaker. Don't need to make a show. Not when you know you know. Let's go, la la la. Shake it, wake it, make it.
All at the righteous bend the knee. To love is the language of belief. And all of the people in the world receive. All they need to live in love, live in love. All at the righteous bend the knee. To peace is the language of belief. And all of the people in the world receive. All they need to live in love, live in love. All at the righteous bend the knee. To love is the language of belief. And all of the people in the world receive. All they need to live in love, live in love.
I'm back. Sorry about that. Technical difficulties. You know, things happen. But that's okay. You know, when we have problems, we just deal with it and keep going, right? It's like when I used to sing. If I made a mistake when I was singing, I would just keep going. Why not, right? So that's all good. So back to what we're getting back to. Sorry about that delay. I was talking about bull and bear markets, and I'm just going to go back to the question again. So the question that Kenton asked again was, he said, oh, sorry, not Kenton, it was Heidi. Please stop typing. All right, so Heidi asked the exchange of going up and down. Yes, so is all the other exchanges in the world. Okay, you're going to start seeing a lot more of that, actually. All right, so Kevin Jackson says, play with the buy and sell prices. Absolutely. Okay, here's the thing. If you know how to trade, this market is the best market ever, okay? Because if you trade, you short Bitcoin when it starts going down, and you buy it back when it starts going back up, and you just do it back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. The problem is 95% of people in crypto are not traders. They're noobs. And so we have to try to get them into the right type of projects, okay? So, yeah. I definitely can. I definitely can tell you guys that we're going to be great, and things are going to start to go back up again. So just wait for it. Volume is going to kick up fast. It's like, I always use that reference of Sonic the Hedgehog. You had to press like that button over and over again to get his feet moving faster, so it made like that. And what happened after it did that? That's what the market's going to do. We just have to wait and see what happens, okay? So let me take a couple more questions and I'm going to move forward. So arbitrage, yes, Heidi, you can do arbitrage. What is arbitrage if you don't know? Arbitrage is when you see many different exchanges and there's different prices on different exchanges. And so when you see that, you send money from one exchange to the other and then you sell and you get Bitcoin. And you get more Bitcoin because you sold at a higher price. Now, it doesn't always work like that. That's the problem. And it doesn't work like that because A, you have to think about fees. So you have to do it in a big number. You can't do it like arbitrage in a small amount. You got to do it in like 10,000 or more. So if you're ever going to do that, Heidi, it's a great question. But arbitrage is something that you have to be careful because the fees actually sometimes negate your gain. So yes, you can do it. There's that new token on the exchange called Maker, and they actually are going to have a part of their platform will actually let you do arbitrage like live. It'll link all the exchanges together, and you'll be able to do it. So what that will actually end up happening with that, you'll see the exchange. All of them are going to have to standardize their prices eventually because they're going to get, one exchange is going to get screwed over by other exchanges because they have different prices. So that's what arbitrage will create, and I do believe that won't be there forever. Tim Pace says, I've seen Bitcoin at 10,000 and the exchange selling it at, okay, here's the thing. What everyone doesn't understand, Okay, I understand this now that I'm in the OTC market. Okay, and I'm doing Bitcoin trading with bigger numbers. When you buy Bitcoin on an exchange, you pay 10% on top of whatever you're paying for. So if you buy one coin at 10,000, yeah, Tim, you're going to be paying 10,100. That's how it works. This is why a lot of people use the OTC market, because then you don't have to pay the exchange fees and you end up saving about 10% on the price. And you've seen this in Coinbase all the time. So be careful about that because it's not fun. Now, I definitely want to tell you guys about something else. Look at BNB right now. Go to Binance, look up Binance Coin. Look at what it's moving like crazy right this second. They just announced something new, and I'll get you guys what it is, but I didn't expect it to fly like this, so it's awesome. Exchange questions. Nico Grossens asked, plant them on their exchange. Think they ask fee to the coin as well? I don't know what you mean. Plant them on an exchange. Think they ask fee to the coin as well? Yes. You're gonna have to pay fees to sell or trade Bitcoin whenever you're on any exchange, unless you're on a decentralized, completely free fee like Robinhood exchange. So yes. Best advice is to mine/purchase what you can afford and sit back for 3 to 5 years. Gary, yeah, you could do that, but here's the problem with mining, guys, and this is why I don't do it. Everyone asks me like, why don't you mine? And I'm like, dude, it's such a waste of money. And they're like, why? And I tell them just like this. If you're a regular guy, number one, you have to have a place to put your mining rig. Number two, you have to keep it cool. Number three, you have to know how to properly set it up, because if you use the cords that they give you, you'll have a fire in your house. Number four, as you're buying these equipment that cost $2,000 to $10,000, it will actually slowly move down. Because every time the block gets fixed, they make the algorithm harder. So unless you have like 500 S9s in your warehouse, you're not going to be doing so well. So just think about that as well. Okay, so let's continue on. I feel like that was a good little sesh that we had there, and it's that time to move. So let's do that. Okay, so I talked about Odyssey. So I was talking a little bit about crypto exchanges, and I was asking you guys, how do they make money? No one actually asked, no one actually said, so I'll just tell you. It's the teacher in me. I want you guys to try to think of what do they do to make money. And this is what they do to make money. They actually sell coin listings. So when you want your coin to go on Binance, they usually have like bounties and they have other things that they do. You have to actually pay them to do voting. And you have to pay them to actually get your coin listed on an exchange. And even the owner of Viacoin, what he said was, had he not been trading crypto, he wouldn't have been able to afford to put his coin on Binance. Viacoin is the one that had that hack and then went up 4,000%, and then everything got switched over, and then Binance locked the traders' accounts, and now we're offering $250,000 to find them. Pretty awesome stuff. So that's why I like Binance. But the question I have to you guys is it ethical for an exchange to charge $1 million? This is what they're saying it's going to cost on average, $1 million just to list your coin in their exchange. Do you think that's ridiculous? Do you like that idea? Is it ethical? I don't know. I want you guys to comment on that, because I think that it's something that I've been thinking about. Like, you know what? Is that really ethical? Like, they're gonna make money already, even if it goes on their exchange, they're gonna make money, right? So why would they do it this way? Now there's another exchange coming out that's gonna list every single coin, and it slipped my mind right now, and it's driving me a little bit crazy on the inside. I'm trying to think about it, but I can't remember. If any of you guys can remember that, please do tell me. So yeah, if you haven't commented, that's how they make money. So exchanges make money from fees, and they make money for selling coins and advertising. Okay, so there's 3 ways they make money, and Coinbase last year made $1 billion. $1 billion, and that's not even trading crypto. All they did was basically do trading and adding 10% fees on top of a lot of the coins that they have on Coinbase, if not all of them. Okay, and then you have Binance, okay, which made $850 million last year. And the reason why they only made $850 million with so many users using it is mostly because they have BNB token, and saves a lot of money on purchases and fees, and that's what happens. So exchanges like Kryptonia, here's a question from Tim again. exchanges like Kryptonia have tons of coins. I'm sure it is relatively cheap to list a coin on Kryptonia. Probably. Yeah, it probably is on Kryptonia easy. But how many people use it? It's like the 30th used exchange in all the world. So being so low on that totem pole, it doesn't give them a lot of legs to stand on, if you know what I mean. So could Kryptonia be a really cool... I use it for some coins, definitely, but is it a great project? Is it a great exchange to use? Not really. I mean, look what happened with Packcoin on their exchange, and everything got screwed up, and they lost so much money on Packcoin from it going 1 Satoshi, 2 Satoshi, 1 Satoshi, 2. Man, I know people that put a Bitcoin in 1 Satoshi, sold it at 2 Satoshis, so they had 2 Bitcoin, put 2 Bitcoin to 1 Satoshis, sold it at 2 Satoshis, and they had 4 Bitcoin, and then they did it again until they had 16 Bitcoin. That was smart. I wish I had done that. They told me the next day. I was like, thanks a lot for telling me. You should have let me in on that one. I would have let everybody in on that one. But yes, Kryptonia, it doesn't make as much money as the other ones, but that's just because the volume is not there. All right, so that's it for exchanges. If you have questions, do leave them. I'll get them at some point. So my next thing's about mining. So what we saw this week is that the UK have said there is no legal basis at all for banning or limiting UK mining of Bitcoin. Now, they are concerned mostly due to the fact of the power issue, right? Now, we know that mining takes a lot of energy. And we're not saying like a little bit of energy. Proof of work takes work, okay? They have to crunch those numbers down and fix that and figure out the algorithm to get the block completed so that the miners can get the Bitcoin. And then also so that your block can be completed and your transaction be set in stone forever on the ledger. So, I have a question about mining. Hold on a sec. Anthony Orm asked, the problem with mining is that you need a really powerful computer to be able to do so. Normal computers are not sufficient to mine crypto. Actually, nothing is sufficient to mine crypto other than basically specific made things like ant miners from Bitmain. If you're going to do Bitcoin, you have to use them. They're way faster and way better and made specifically for mining Bitcoin. You could use like a GeForce as well. You can get really good graphics cards, and they're really good at crunching the numbers as well. But those all these things that cost money, right? So you're going to pay a lot of money to make some money back, and by the time you've got your money back, your equipment might not be bringing you in as much money because everything gets harder all the time. Now, this is the problem with mining that I always tell people is if you had invested $10,000 into a mining rig, or you had $10,000 and you invested into coins that are good projects when the market's doing normal movements, you'll make way more money if you invest $10,000 in coins. But times like these absolutely are good times. Now, Tim Hay says mining pools are the way to go these days. Absolutely not, and I'll tell you why. Mining pools can make you a little bit more money, but look what happened to NiceHash. They got hacked and everyone lost their coins, and then they had to wait, and they got their coins back at way less value because it was after the Bitcoin drop. So, is it bad? Yeah. Another thing is, I know personally a friend of mine has a warehouse in the United States, and he has 500 S9 ant miners on there. And he could do a block probably every 2 weeks or every week and a half, okay? Now, even he admitted that, like, yeah, it's a really expensive cost to start up, and you have to spend a lot of money, and everything gets slower. So, you know, what he could do in 10 days will take 12, and then 13, and then 15, and then 18, and then eventually you have to get better, newer, the next level ant miner or whatever, so that he can keep up with the Bitcoin mining, right? So, as well, in a mining pool, here's the problem, because my buddy who has a whole warehouse was in a mining pool till he just set up a VTS. And a VTS is basically a system that you mine your own, and you can have people come onto your network and mine and be in your pool. So what he realized is he felt like even though he's got all these hashes, like 8 pentahashes, he wasn't getting the right amount of money based off of that, right? So mining pools definitely have issues, and they're not perfect. Now, going back to my UK article, let's look at the UK. Nice picture of that. What we saw was that the growing power consumption is an issue, right? Because they keep having more and more power to make these, to make these rigs and these mining units go faster, right? And not faster, go to power them up, right? And so that uses like an immense amount of energy. And what they've started to notice in some of these countries, most of the energy is being used to mine Bitcoin. Now, we have some solutions like, number one, we have, sorry, EU. Yes, this is the EU, not just UK. Yeah, this threw me off. Anyways, so we have these issues with growing power consumption. We have things like Envion and WePower, which will use natural renewable energy to power miners. That will be really cool, but we haven't got there yet to the mass adoption of those things. But that's where we should be going if we want to do it green, because we can't afford to keep doing it not green. It's not good. Okay, so the issue is then now as well, because the Paris what's it called? The Paris Agreement that they have, right, where they are not supposed to have so much emissions. Well, they're worried that the issue of greenhouse gas will start becoming worse and worse from mining, and that the planet will start having bad emissions from that, and that's not a good thing. So that's something we have to keep in mind, especially with China, because they'll burn coal so they can make more energy, and that's cheap but bad for the environment. So they're reviewing the impact of energy, impact of the amount of energy they're going to use to see how they can do it, because it could be a problem. And the EU plans to explore more blockchain technology to figure out other solutions that it can provide for them, now that it's really into the mainstream of their government. So that's all good news, and it's all great. So if you have any questions about the EU or mining, let me know, but I think that's pretty straightforward. So Thailand, another thing from Thailand. What you're going to realize is I'm not actually targeting Thailand ads, even though I live here. They just keep coming up because Thailand's very pro cryptocurrency. But if you can see what you can't see what it says there, but it's pretty cool. What do I think about the Celsius network? I will look into that. I literally haven't heard of it till today, Heidi. So let me look into it for you. It's gonna go on my pad and paper. Celsius. I will check it out and I'll get back to you on that one. All right. So Thailand has a capital gains tax on cryptocurrency. Now, some people would say that bad because, yeah, in the United States, it's like 40%. That's ridiculous. That's not even fair. It's like you're going to try to evade that as much as possible. Of course you are. Now, in Thailand, I find it's actually very reasonable. They're only charging you 10% of your capital gains on your trading. That's not that bad. That's what I pay for my employment. We pay 10% here for employment tax. So is that bad? No, absolutely not. I think that's fine. I think it's very reasonable. They also want regulation of ICOs and exchanges in the land of smiles. Okay. They also want to admit that regulation is not going to happen overnight. So they know they want to regulate things and they want to make it safer for the citizens in their country, but they know that they can't just like pass all these bills overnight. But the big point is that they're figuring out a way to do it that's fair, more so than other countries where they're charging far more than 10%. I think 10% is not a number that actually is unfair, right? If you make $1 million to give 100,000 to the government to make 900 is not that bad. And it, you know, the government should be using that money to improve your country anyway, so there's nothing wrong with that. Now, money laundering is the big thing, okay? When we see AML, it's called anti-money laundering. So when you do a Bitcoin deal, even for $100 or 100 Bitcoin for $1 million, you have to do anti-money laundering. It's part of the process. Now, this is good. Anti-money laundering means that you didn't get your Bitcoin from from gangs, or you didn't get them from theft, or you didn't get them from any criminal activities or anything like that. It means they're clean. And same with the other side. It means that your money is clean. So what they're trying to do is make sure that people are following the rules. And actually, if you're a Thai citizen and you leave Thailand to take out your money and they find out, they can actually charge you for it. So they're going to make it really serious. So you just pay 10% of your tax, and it's only on the gains. It's not on like trades, every trade like in the United States. It's just on the gains. So Tim Pace, absolutely. 10% is reasonable. 40% is ridiculous. You know, you make $100,000, you have to give 40,000 to the government. It's really not going to entice you to trade that much. It's going to entice you to try to figure out any way to evade the government. But 10%, you'll be like, all right, that's fair, you know? So I agree with you there on that one. So just before I go, I have one more thing to talk about, and then I'm going to see you guys tomorrow. So let's just jump on to that. and it's on South Korea yet again. So yesterday I was telling you guys about the Kakao app and how they're going to have 12,000 vendors on it to be able to buy and sell stuff with cryptocurrency on their application. I also told you guys about Line is another one that they use in Korea and pretty much everywhere in Asia, and it's out of Japan. Line's also doing an ICO, so they're going to have their own way to spend money in crypto on their app. Okay, then you have, yesterday I told you about the kiosks for food. So basic small transactions to buy food in kiosks in Korea is also another one. And then today I was reading, and BitMEX, I told you this one maybe 2 days ago, that BitMEX has a hotel group. I can't say the name because it's written in Korean, but they made a agreement, and they have 50,000 hotels, 50,000 hotels, okay, on their app, all around Korea, and they're going to accept 12 different cryptocurrencies. So when I talk about mass adoption, that is exactly what it is. Korea is starting to go to mass adoption. Here's something that really makes me kind of coincidental though. So I'm not one of those people that are like, oh my God, aliens are coming to Earth tomorrow and all that crazy stuff. But what I am is a little bit of conspiracy. I believe in some conspiracy. Here's what I think is kind of odd. South Korea starts to plan to allow ICOs and regulate crypto trading after all they dealt with. But here's the thing that I think is really funny. How many weeks ago did their finance minister die of a heart attack? Okay, now how do most Koreans feel about crypto? Pretty bullish, right? Like, so bullish they were spending like an extra 30% to buy a Bitcoin in Korea? Yeah, that kind of bullish, right? Great. Now here's the question. 1.5, 2 weeks later, they all of a sudden come out with all this stuff to make it mass adoption, to massively adopt crypto in the whole country. Now we see Thailand doing a lot of that too. Do you think that it's not going to come to America, Canada, Europe, UK, Australia, New Zealand? It's coming for everywhere. And we also have to think about the unbanked. All these people that have no banks, where are they going to go? Well, if we have crypto, they don't need a bank. They have their phone. They have a wallet. They have a wallet that's secure on a blockchain. They don't need a bank. So we're going to see this mass adoption push probably first in countries that are unbanked. And then we're going to see them even more so in the other countries that are banked. And we're probably also going to start seeing banks go, oh crap, we need to get cryptocurrencies, because if I'm a bank, I know that my days are numbered. So I'm going to make sure that I can do whatever I can so I don't have any issues at all. And so that's what I would do. Anyways, any questions before I go today? Do leave some comments about the show. And I want to know how I can make it better for you guys. How can I make the experience better for all you guys that watch me every day? I would love for your comments and feedback. I would also love you guys to share the video so that other people can see and learn about the current events. And I will start doing once a week a teaching session of crypto. So I'm going to teach you stuff. So last week I did proof of stake, proof of work. This week I might do blockchain, what is blockchain, etc. So we're going to see that. Next thing. Tim, last question. Mass adoption is coming. Banks are shaking in the roots. Absolutely. Dude, you don't even know. I have insider information about what's going on in the banks. I can't talk about it, but I know about what's going on in the banks. And they are trying to buy Bitcoin like you would not believe. Certain banks are like, yeah, we know it's coming. And they're either going to make it or they're going to break it. So I think a lot of them are going to either make it or they know their time is numbered. Okay, so their days will be numbered mostly just because of one reason. Because us, we're the reason, okay? We're the reason why banks can either pass or fail. We are the teacher, okay? Here we have all the control. If we want Bitcoin and cryptos to be mainstream, they will be, and we will be there. So, thank all you guys for watching. Share the video. Have an awesome day, night, afternoon, weekend, wherever you are in the world. Kick some butt, take some names, and have a great, awesome evening. I love you guys, and I'll see you all tomorrow. Have yourselves a great, happy, fantastic evening.
All of the righteous bend the knee. Peace is a language of belief.